Hypoestes Phyllostachya, also known as polka dot plant. This is what polka dot plant, Hypoestes Phyllostachya, seeds look like. I sow polka dot plant seeds by broadcasting them evenly across the soil surface. Keep soil moist until seeds germinate. Seeds start to germinate. This is what polka dot plant cotyledon look like. In regions with cooler climate, it's ideal to start polka dot plants indoors. For me, optimal temperature for polka dot plant seeds germination is between 22 to 26 degrees Celsius. Polka dot plant seeds need light to germinate. When growing polka dot from seeds, it is common to have some seeds fail to germinate. For me, polka dot plant success germination rate depend on seeds quality, seed age, moisture, light, and temperature. Polka dot plant, true leaf slowly emerging. For me, on average, polka dot plant seed viability are about 1 year. Seed viability is greatly affected by its quality at the time of collection, its treatment between collection, storage, and the conditions in which it is stored. For me, optimal temperature range for growing polka dot plant is about 22 to 28 degrees Celsius. My minimum temperature when growing polka dot plant is 24 degrees Celsius. My maximum temperature when growing polka dot plant is 33 degrees Celsius. Minimum humidity level for growing polka dot plant are about 50%. My average humidity when growing polka dot plant are about 88%. Polka dot plant light preference are bright indirect light. If growing polka dot plant in direct sunlight will resulting in curling leaves and fading leaf color. I grow my plant in partial shade location. Brown leaf spot, bacterial leaf spot in my seedling are due to overwatering. Soil I use for growing polka dot plant contain cocoa peat, red burn soil, micro, fine sand, old humus, and charcoal. Polka dot plant prefer to grow in fertile loam soil. You can use any growing medium that's convenient for you. As long as you use well-drained soil, you will be fine. Growing polka dot plant in heavy soil like clay will promote root rot. Soil pH for growing polka dot plant are from 5.6 to 6.5 pH. My soil pH when I try to grow polka dot plant are about 7 pH. Polka dot plant prefer to grow in slightly acidic soil condition. Container size I use to grow polka dot plant, height 22 centimeters and width 29 centimeters. You can also grow polka dot plant in a larger container than the one I used. The bigger the container, the bigger root system will develop and will resulting lush plant. In its native habitat, polka dot plant can grow up to 60 centimeters in height. In its native habitat, polka dot plant can grow up to 30 centimeters in width. If grow polka dot plant in the garden, space plants around 30 centimeters, 12 inches apart. If you are growing polka dot plant in the container, the plants will be smaller than if they were grown in the ground. When growing polka dot plant, please make sure your container have good drainage. A waterlogged container can lead to root rot. Polka dot plant doesn't like soggy soil. For me, the advantage for growing in container is gives me more control over sunlight, moisture, and temperature. For this growing season, on average my water usage are about 300 milliliters. In my climate, I water my polka dot plant every day. Time I water my polka dot plant is between 7 to 8 in the morning. Water usage depend on container size, container type, weather, and climate you live in. Your water usage may be different than me. For me, it's easier to give too much water than too little. Overwatering will promote root rot. Polka dot plant water preference are moderate watering. Polka dot plant are low drought tolerance plant. Polka dot plant is native to Madagascar. Polka dot plant in my climate are herbaceous perennial. Herbaceous perennials are those that die down to the ground each year, but whose roots remain alive and send up new top growth each year. In colder climates, polka dot plants are typically grown as annuals. You can grow polka dot plant indoors as a houseplant. For growing polka dot plant indoor, you need to provide bright indirect light for growing, minimum temperature 22 degrees Celsius, minimum humidity 50%, monthly fertilizer, and adequate watering. Polka dot plant USDA hardiness are zone 10 to 11. If polka dot plant gets too tall, you can prune it back at any time. By pruning, we can maintain an attractive plant's appearance. By pinching the plant, it will encourages branching on the polka dot plant. Stem that you get from pruning can be used to propagate new plant. Polka dot plant can be propagated by seed or stem cutting. Before pruning polka dot plant, I sanitized my scissor. I sterilized my scissor using rubbing alcohol swab. My rubbing alcohol swab contains 70% isopropyl alcohol. According to the Center for Disease Control, isopropyl alcohol in concentrations of 70% or more will disinfect surfaces for bacteria, fungi, and viruses. When using rubbing alcohol, please do not dilute it with water, because dilute isopropyl alcohol will make the concentrations go down. This will resulting low effectiveness against bacteria, fungi, and viruses. Alcohol is highly flammable, so take precautions. Please safely dispose of alcohol swab after using it. You also can use chlorine, bleach to disinfect your tools. For using bleach, we can make 10% solution, which means 1 part bleach and 9 part water. I don't recommend using bleach for pruning and cutting tools that require a sharp edge, since bleach is known to be corrosive to metals. Please safely dispose of bleach after using it. Please don't pour it in your garden as it can harm plants and beneficial soil organisms. When growing my polka dot plant, I use liquid fertilizer. I use fertilizer on my polka dot plant for every 30 days. I apply fertilizer to my polka dot plant at about 7 to 8 in the morning. You can use whatever fertilizer available to your convenience. Please don't overfeed the plant. Signs of overfertilization include defoliation, little to no new growth, yellowing and wilting of lower leaves, and browning or burnt tips on the leaves. Please read and follow the instructions carefully before starting using any fertilizers. Polka dot plant are from Acanthaceae family. Polka dot plant produce bisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers contain both male and female reproductive organs in the same flower. It seems some of my plant had curly leaf. This happens because the plant is receiving too much sunlight. To prevent this happening again, I need to relocate my container to new place. In general, the polka dot plant is not poisonous to humans, dogs, cats, and horses. That doesn't mean it's safe for humans, dogs, cats, and horses to eat it. To be safe, please keep it out of the reach of your pets. Since pets frequently chew on new plants introduced to the home, it is also recommended to keep it out of the reach of young children. If you suspect your pet may have ingested potentially toxic substance, contact your local animal poison control or veterinarian as soon as possible. If you suspect your child may have ingested potentially toxic substance, please contact your local or national poison center. When growing polka dot plant, you might run into pests such as mealybugs, aphids, spider mites, thrips, and blackfly. These are some typical diseases you may encounter when growing polka dot plant: root rot, leaf spot, rust, southern blight, and powdery mildew. Some part of the world consider polka dot plant as invasive species. Be sure to check with your local council before planting these. The genus name Hypoestes is derived from the Greek words hypo, meaning under, and estia, meaning a house, referring to the calyxes being covered by bracts. The Latin specific epithet Phyllostachya means with a leaf spike. The plant attracts bees for pollination. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more content.